with that, I'm going to, in a moment, I'm going to hand over to Nick Stanek, who is the channel sales engineer for 8x8. He's got all the information, he's got all the knowledge, and he's got a great demonstration. I've seen it a couple of times already. So very quickly, our portfolio is based around 5 divisions. We've got the cloud CCaaS, technology as a service division here at Nuvola, which is where the 8x8 products fit in. We've got intelligent networks, which enables the infrastructure and the networking components and the monitoring management, SD-WAN, etc., etc. And then we've got the unified communications division, which of course is typically the old on-prem but solutions. We have professional services, so we have a large number of engineers that are able to implement both on-prem but also roll out solutions by 8x8 and other vendors. And then the other area which we're seeing sort of quite a large growth with due to circumstances in the world are the meeting room solutions, where we've got a division built on that. So that's who Nuvola Distribution are. The reason for this webinar is to hear from 8x8. So with that, we've got a UCaaS demonstration this afternoon. If you haven't registered for that, I would strongly suggest that you do that. And with that, I'm going to now hand over to Nick. So
thank you.
There we go.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, you guys should be seeing my screen now. Fantastic. So essentially what we are talking about today is the higher part of the licensing from 8x8, or the CCaaS section, or the contact center as a service part of the product from 8x8. So the idea behind 8x8 is to have the whole product suite under one roof, or under one umbrella, and so is the licensing model set up. We will have a unified communication session later on today at 2 p.m. So we will be able to see on the media handling and the unified communications part of the product. Today we are talking about 3 types of licenses. We are talking about the X6, X7, and X8 and their capabilities. First of all, the contact center from 8x8 is accessed through the browser. Everything is browser based, which basically means that you can access it from any device and from any internet connection. You do not require any of the VPNs or any private networks that would sort of need to be set up either from the client or from the server side. So essentially, we divide the access to the application panel that you're seeing on the screen in 3 different ways. So depending on your access levels, you will either have a contact center agent as a standard agent and the support page. You will have a administration piece if you are an administrator of the system, which is the configuration manager. And then if you are a supervisor, you will have the analytics and the speech analytics in addition to the contact center agent piece. We'll start with the administration just because I wish to show you how we handle our interactions in the contact center. We are a omni-channel contact center solution, which basically means that we will handle different media and have a mutual platform for all of them. We divide our our contact center into channels, queues, and then agents underneath them. Okay, so channels are your entering points into the contact center, and they can be various different medias. They can be a phone channel, they can be a chat channel, email channel, social media channels for Facebook and Twitter, or the SMS channels. All of these will have mutual queues behind them, and you will be able to default the priority of each and every one of those queues. So if your agents, if you prioritize calls over emails and emails over chats, you can set that up. For each one of these queues, you will be able to set a set of members and set their skill level for each and every one of the queues. So if someone is better at typing than speaking on the phone, or vice versa, you can finely tune that. All of the information from the contact center can be found in this interface and can be changed from here. We build our contact centers in this page. So there is pretty much nothing that's been created that cannot be changed. So it's a full self-service model. On the agent side, we have a distinguished two parts of the solution. We will have a CRM on the right-hand side, and we will have an interaction panel on the left-hand side. That interaction panel never changes, regardless of the integrations. We are talking about the integrations on the UCaaS model as well. So we integrate with 36 different CRMs and applications, Office applications, out of the box. And we also have a set of free APIs that you can utilize in order to integrate this with a third party. The functionality of the CRM is pretty vast. You can create your information in these fields here. We can actually route the calls or interactions based on these fields. We will keep all of the information about the previous interactions with the customer. We will keep all of the information from the call logs as well. All of this information is available in the third-party CRMs. So if you were to integrate Salesforce or Zendesk into this, the right-hand side would change to Salesforce or Zendesk, with all of the information still being passed on from 8x8 interaction panel. The interaction panel, as I mentioned before, never changes regardless of the integration. And all of your interactions end up here. So you have your voice, your chat, social media and SMS, and your email chat or interactions. You will also be able to monitor the queues, post notices of different priorities, and receive phone calls with full call control from here, regardless of where your media is being handled. From the PCI compliance, you will be able to start and stop the call recordings either manually, automatically via API, or outsource it completely to the PCI PAL partner that we work with. All of the interactions have mutual reports, so we can report on all of the interactions equally and from one simple interface, which I'll show you later on. On the monitoring side, from the supervisory perspective, we'll be able to see all of the information in real time. So I can see my agent management platform, campaign management platform, or queue management platform in order to see how my queues are doing against SLAs. If I go to my agent management, I can see their behavior currently. I can see their behavior in the last 30 minutes or from the beginning of the day. And I can see the percentages of how long they've been in available state, on a break state, or taking working offline. If I wanted to monitor the agents, I can do that as well. Click on a particular agent, see who they're on the phone to, start monitoring, join call, or whisper to the agent without actually the customer hearing us for coaching purposes. Also on the supervisory side, we will see the analytics, and analytics are divided into real-time and historical data. The real-time data is contained in these dashboards, and dashboards are completely customizable. So if I was to review the contact center dashboard, I will be able to see all of the information from the contact center on, regardless on how many medias I've had, whether they be chat, phones, emails, social medias, how they compare to each other. And they are completely customizable. So I can actually go into one of the dashboards and edit them. So if I go to the CC full overview, actually something a bit less complicated like dark hue, I can actually edit it from here and just say, well, I wish this to be on the right hand side and I wish it to be a tiny bit larger or smaller. And I can add additional widgets. Additional widgets will help me to set the metrics that I wish to see. So if I'm presenting this as a table, for a single queue, I will select which queue I wish to see. Let's say all email. I will have all of the metrics, and then I can see all of the metrics that I wish to input into this widget that will then be created with all of those metrics and agents that we are requiring. That will show up in here, and I can move it as I wish. Okay. I can also share these wallboards. So if I go to the contact center overview, I can actually share this with my clients, with my supervisors, with other agents. I can view it in two modes. I can either view it in the dark mode or in light mode with the same exact information, dependent on the type of media that you're using to present this, whether that be a wallboard, dashboard, or simply report that you're sharing with other supervisors. Historical reporting is also available with 8x8, and you can actually build custom reports based on the APIs that we have. You can actually build them within the interface like here, or you can use one of the pre-made reports and group them by the agents, status codes, types of media, types of interactions, statuses, detailed reports, and so on. There is also another piece to the supervisory experience, and that's customer experience reports. And they allow us to view all of the details of the interactions, to see the customer journey as is. On the right-hand side, I will have 2000 interactions. On the left-hand side, I will have all of my filtering capabilities. And that can be anything from, I want to see all of the calls that were repeated so many times from this customer, to how many times it was transferred. If I select the 2 and more times transferred, I can get the interaction that I want to see here. I can open the Actions button and see a full customer journey in the minute detail around the call, see exactly which queues and which agents they spoke to, when did they get transferred, after how many seconds they got transferred, who did they get transferred to, and so on and so forth. I can view that on a very high level from the dominant paths report, which will enable me to see what are the most used paths to see to reach my agents. Or even more important, the least used paths to reach my agents, which I can then make obsolete and actually optimize my IVR to be simpler for customers to use. On the IVR metrics report, you can actually see the hung up calls. You can see when they hung up in the IVRs, at which point. You can see the information on how many people chose which option of the call. And if they hung up, I can simply click on those hung up calls and see the numbers of the customers that they called. So I can call them straight back, or even see a full-blown journey, much like you've seen earlier. We also have post-call survey reports. We enable the post-call surveys through 8x8 systems. So if you are creating a post-call survey with us, you will be able to report upon them on each and every one of the question responses, detailed responses for every single interaction, and export all of this data. Finally, I'm going to talk about the speech analytics and quality management. Speech analytics and quality management has been introduced to 8x8 a couple of years ago, and it's been embedded into the license of X8, which is the top license from 8x8. It has quality management and speech analytics capabilities, but without the professional services to manage those. So it's a self-service platform for speech analytics. For example, I have some categories that I've created here: threatening behavior, communication barriers, collection, churn and retention, sales and orders. Each and every one of these categories can be created in here, and they can be whichever the client wishes them to be. Each and every one of these categories will have topics underneath them. For example, for churn and retention, I have agent safe strategies and caller cancellation requests. And underneath that, I will have phrases that I want to associate with that topic. So what's the best way to cancel? If I hear this phrase in a conversation, I will categorize it as a churn because it's part of the caller cancellation request. Therefore, the likelihood is that the customer is churning. I can open up that category and see that I have 3,500 interactions. If I open it up, I will see every single interaction behind that category. I can click on the interaction to get a little bit more detail, average emotion of the call, detail around the interaction itself, transcription. I can tag the transcription and see why it was part of this category. It says I want to cancel. If I click on that phrase, it will take me straight to the point in the call where that word was mentioned. Therefore, I can play the call recording and hear what was the context of that phrase. I can also share this interaction with the customer, send them the link, set the password, expiration dates, and share the link. Also, we will have a screen recording of the callers, of the agents. So when you're playing the phone call, you will hear exactly what was the agent having on the screen while on this particular call at this particular time. Furthermore, to take that for the remote supervision, we have made a platform that will allow remote supervision for every single one of the agents live. So I can see what the agent is up to, and I can monitor the agent straight away. I will wrap up with that. We also have a couple of products that we haven't talked about. Is a intelligent IVR, which will enable you to do intelligent tasks in the IVR, such as natural speech processing, chatbots, dips into databases, and also a product called Virtual Agent from 8x8, which basically enables you to have a virtual agent with intelligent speech engines behind it that will handle hundreds, even thousands of interactions at one given time, and therefore can replace a live agents for menial tasks of bookings, particular information sharing, and so on and so forth. Guys, I'll wrap up with that. Thank you for your time, and I will hand back over the screen control.
Thank you, Nick. Let me just put, here's the presenter. Right. So there's one or two questions, if I could ask, that come through whilst you were presenting. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I apologise. I realise my head's out, and you probably heard the dustman picking up my refuge. So is the solution PCI compliant, and what are the options?
Yeah, so as I covered a little bit of that, I think it's a wider conversation for each and every customer. We do have several options around that. So we do have a manual pause and resume call recording. We also have an API that allows a automatic pause and resume. So if the agent goes to a payment page, we can stop the call recording automatically until they submit the payment. The third option, and probably the most popular when it comes to PCI, is outsourcing the PCI responsibility. It's effectively creating a environment where your agents don't have to think about the call recordings, and we export that or outsource that to our partner called PCI Pal that we have integrated the system fully with. Therefore, there is DTMF suppression, integration with multiple payment gateways, and so on.
Excellent. Okay. Another question we've got is, can 8x8 provide a chatbot?
Yes, so that's one of the products that we haven't talked about today, and that's the Intelligent IVR from 8x8. And while the Intelligent IVR provides a huge amount of, or huge spectrum of features that can improve the experience of your customers, such as speech, natural speech recognition, dips into databases, passing on the information, intelligent biometric IDNV. Chatbot is one part of that solution as well, so we do provide that as well.
Excellent. And then the final question I've got here is, can reporting data be exported into Microsoft's Power BI?
Absolutely. So the contact center as well as the unified communications from 8x8 have a full set of APIs that allow us to export the data from the system into a third-party reporting suite. That might be Tableau, that might be Power BI, that might be a CRM of sort. So all of the data that you can view in 8x8 can be exported through from 8x8.
Excellent. So I think that's it. I mean, nice and short and sweet. If you want any more information, then please contact us here at Nuvola, and we will we're probably following up anyway and be in contact with you. But I appreciate your time, and with that, I'm going to now close the webinar. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.